Welcome to 2.2.3 External Factors that Influence Organizational Structure. We're going to look at five external factors that's outside the business which can influence how an organizational structure is structured. So, firstly, we've got economic changes. So, if a country that you operate in or countries are suffering economically, business is going down, shall we say, across most of the country, so less people have got money to spend because the country itself has got less money in it for various reasons. Then obviously you need to try to cut costs because you're going to have less customers coming to you because they have less money. This normally happens in a recession, and one of the ways you can save money is to delayer. We mentioned this before. I'll just go back and show you a picture of what delayering is. For example, taking out one of these layers, not the chief executive, but taking out one of these layers, and obviously all the people that you employ in this layer was equals salary saved. You've taken out a layer, you've saved the salary or salaries, how depending on how many. So then this workload, what you would need to have done, what you need to do is just share it between middle managers, the line above and the line below. Okay, so now if we look at a second option of reorganization of structure is regional structure. And we'll take the example of there's a company that operates within the Middle East. Let's call it Apple in the Middle East. Before they may have had a manager for Saudi, a manager for Oman, a manager for UAE, a manager for Jordan and Kuwait. But before they had more money, the economy was doing well. So then what happened? They changed the structure to make it regional structure. Let's reduce these managers down to one. So the manager who was the regional manager of Saudi now takes on the extra role to be regional manager of the Middle East. And the other four guys lose their jobs, saving on the other four salaries or five salaries and just paying one guy, maybe even a little bit extra for the work. Okay, next, legal changes. So most governments have their different laws and they change these from time to time. And as you're a business operating in those countries, you need to make sure that you're up to date with those changes. So often, bigger companies they create a department or a compliance unit within, like, as in a group of people that look at the different laws and how they make sure that their business is in line with the laws of the country that they're operating in, in order not to be charged or to get fines, etc. Next, we have technological changes. So this happens, as we know, regular basis. Technology is expanding at a very fast pace, and ultimately you need to keep up and keep up quite fast. So you're either going to have a research and development department which is leading the expansion of technology at the front, like companies like Apple, Samsung, and other companies. That even maybe Amazon. All the big companies have got a R&D department, research and development, where they are leading the latest information. In terms of use from technology into technology it has in terms of into the products that they have. In a case where you're a smaller company, maybe you might not be able to have a department, but you have more specialist people who have that technical knowledge. And either way, you need to make sure that you keep up with the latest information out there, not to be overtaken by your competitors or to catch them up, which leads us on to competitor actions. So you need to have definitely keep an eye on your competitors to keep up in the race for your customers' attention to show them, yes, we do it just as good or even better. So when those changes, whether it's to do with technology or whatever it is that they're doing, you need to make sure that you can keep up. And often the organizational structure change is decentralization or project based structures, which we'll go into a bit later. where you're taking the decision making power away from, for example, the USA, the main headquarters, and you're giving it to the guy in the Middle East, you're saying, because by the time the information reaches, um, with the full details to the guy in the US, if you trust the guy that's the regional manager in the Saudi, then basically he can make those changes and you can gain maybe 1 week, 1 month. I don't know how much time you might be gaining in order to be in line with your competitors or even ahead. So decentralization, moving the power of making decisions away from one center, spreading it to a local area. Globalization, again, where the world becomes smaller because of communication. Again, similar, decentralization helps to speed up local decision making and to keep up with cultural changes, consumer preferences, because the preferences of what consumers like in one country or region is going to be different to others. So if you have a decentralized system where you're not saying we need to go back and keep on asking the CEO of the company or the manager, which is far away from where the customers are, then you're slowing it down because there's a distance between the two. All right, we do have the internet, and that obviously makes things a bit quicker. However, it's still going to take time because he's not living in that context.